welcome Cate Blanchett.
She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam.
Anytime. Cate Blanchett looks this evening. You look beautiful, Cate.
Thank you.
What a spectacular... what a lovely colour.
Oh. Is this deliberate?
What is deliberate?
Oh, this is so
My hardness.
Oh, yeah. Does it vibrate?
Oh, if you... you know, that's not a bad idea to warm people up.
This is so uncomfortable.
Is it so uncomfortable?
You should have said something. It's something you sit back there like this
Is
and
it
you
all
come out
loungy?
here and
Is it really uncomfortable?
Yeah. Can we maybe
It's
swap?
not... What are you talking about, uncomfortable woman?
No.
It's fine. Oh, it is a bit... Actually, it is a bit hard, isn't it? You don't have...
You get the get. That's really rude. I'd hate... What's dinner like at your place?
Come and sit back over there and stop complaining. Cate, how lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Can I just establish this? You lived here for a little while. You were born in Australia, I imagine.
I was.
And you lived here in the UK for a while, and now you've moved back to Australia, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have, yeah.
Talk me through those. Why did you move here in the first place, and why now decide to move back?
Well, I like the damp, the dark, the cold. No, we were here for about, I suppose, probably since we made the first Elizabeth. So probably about nine years.
And so why did you move here? Why did you want to be here?
Well, it sort of happened by default, really. You know, my husband's agent was here, and I was working on the West End and had made Elizabeth here and had a great time. And I don't know, before you know it, you're 10 years older and...
It's a long time, though, to sort of sneak by you like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And moving back to Australia now, not that it's not a lovely country, I'm sure, I've never been there, but...
It's a fantastic country.
But what's odd is, for your line of work, especially if you're doing movie work, it isn't traditionally where people would base themselves.
We have running water and chocolate biscuits,
So
you know...
That's all you need?
You know, and a film-making industry and theatre, which is primarily where we went back. My husband and I are about to take over the artistic direction of the Sydney Theatre Company.
Wow. Which
is huge and very exciting.
Well, and when you're over there, do you enjoy... I mean, presumably you have a family network over there. I would have thought you have more backup than you would have over here. I imagine your parents, if they're still there. And
I mean, that's partly too. You know, we want the children... We've got 2 kids and we want them to know the grandparents and all of that stuff.
Is it not scary? Aren't there spiders and stuff that live in toilets I've read about and stuff like this, which one should watch out for?
Well, I did a film where I had to have a tarantula crawl on me, which was pretty exciting and quite confronting.
But that presumably was a movie tarantula, quite pampered, had its own trailer.
His name was Tara.
Yeah, so you knew that, you know where it was coming from. There was some kind of like, you could have complained if that tarantula misbehaved. But a wild funnel web living in a leaf is going to leap at you and then run off before you can...
I know, this could be the last interview I ever do.
I sincerely hope not, but, you know, it would scare me, to be honest with you.
It scares me.
So how can you guard against them? Do you wear special clothing or do you carry sprays?
Nets and, you know, it's pretty scary, actually, because these spiders can literally stop your heart in about... Why am I talking about this? It's dreadful.
Yeah, the Australian Tourist Board are going to love us for this, aren't they?
I know. Come to Australia.
Let me ask you about this movie then, because, well, no, before we do that, you're moving back to Australia. When you were filming Lord of the Rings, which of course was in New Zealand...
God's country, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, now, I've met many of the people in that film, and obviously tremendous movies, deservedly a huge success. Was it as big a chunk of your life to make them as it was many of the cast, or were you kind of in and out a little bit more quickly?
Yeah, for me it was just 3 weeks. For them it was sort of a life sentence, really.
They were there for years,
They were there for years, but they seemed quite happy.
What a lovely performance from you, what a tremendous movie, and there you are, and clearly they are enhanced ears, they're not your own ears.
Oh, aren't they fabulous?
They are great, because you're an elf, the elfin queen, I believe, is that right?
No digital enhancement whatsoever.
Just acting?
Just pure acting.
OK. Let me ask you about Elizabeth, the Golden Age. Here's a new movie, and I don't know if you saw the first film, Elizabeth, which I saw and I adored. I was so excited when I heard that you were reprising that role. Was it a difficult decision for you to go back to that role, or was it something that you were keen to do anyway?
I wanted to work with Shaker again.
This is Shaker, the director?
Shaker Kapoor, who directed it. But, you know, he began talking about it immediately after making the first one, and then he started talking about the Spanish Armada, and I said, well, she was 52 when, you know, and I'm 28, so how's that going to work? So I just felt like enough time had to pass for me to age.
Let me ask you about the costumes in it, though. Wow, the clothes are just fabulous. And
they're amazing.
Is it difficult to work in them because they're so structured and they look so kind of complex and you know, inhibiting, that I would have thought that when you're wearing them, it's hard not to think about it.
That was one of the mutton dressed as lamb looks, you know, that we but I mean, they were very, very heavy, and I mean, some of them were so wide that, you know, in the locations that Shaker chose, he literally had to change cathedrals because I couldn't fit through the doorway. So, I mean, you know, some of them were like 2.5 metres wide.
And there you are in a suit of armour, because now I don't think there's been any records of Queen Elizabeth I actually wearing armour. It doesn't mean she didn't have any. Did you keep the armour? Did you keep any of the clothes from this?
I didn't keep the armour, strangely enough, no.
I would have kept the armour. Why didn't you
well,
keep the armour?
I can make a call. And
No, I don't want your armour. I'm just saying, but it's your armour. It wouldn't fit me. At least I hope it wouldn't fit me. But who else is going to wear it if you don't wear your armour?
I suppose not, but what would I do with it?
Take it back to Australia. You'll be safe from the bloody spiders. I don't know what you do with it, but it's your armour. You've earned it. I loved the movie. I've seen the movie. And you know who's great in it as well? Well, I don't think there's a bad performance in it, but Clive Owen.
Yes,
of course, plays Sir Walter Raleigh. How dashing and handsome does Clive Owen look in this movie? He looks great in it, and there's one scene where he's hanging onto the rigging with his doublet open and his chest, the sun glinting off his chest. As I tell you, I almost turned. But he really is the dashing hero. Does it work when you see someone in those kind of trousers walking towards you? Do you think this is I'd quite like to be ravished?
I mean, look, it's hard. I mean, Russell Crowe made the gladiator costumes work, and I think Clive makes the poopy pants work quite well.
The poopy pants? Is that
well,
the
you know, they're a
hysterical
bit
term?
sort of poopy pants, yes.
Well, it's a tremendous movie. You must be filled with it, I'm sure.
I mean, I can't be objective about it. It was certainly an extraordinary time making it. And, you know, to be able to revisit a role as complex as that, you know, 10 years after the fact was quite amazing.
I guess it isn't as, you know, the tail end of her reign isn't anywhere near as dramatic as this, but if they did ask you, let's do a third one, let's just sort of finish it off, would you be interested in that?
Well, she died well into old age, so, I mean, there's a bit of... I mean, I've got a few years yet.
Well, maybe in 20 years. If the work's dried up, you can come back and play
Call
Elizabeth.
my agent.
Let's have a look. I'm going to give you a little taste of it. We showed you a little bit earlier on, but have a look at this. This gives you a feeling for the whole movie. This is Elizabeth, the Golden Age. Cate Blanchett as Elizabeth I in Elizabeth, the Golden Age. Let's talk about you winning your Oscar, because you won that for your performance as Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator.
That was a shock.
Well, now, was it really? Did you not expect to be nominated?
I mean, I think when you play someone as iconic as Hepburn in the same medium that she's so claimed and loved, you know that some people are going to say, well, that's not Kate. But, you know, when Martin Scorsese makes the call, your knees sweat and you think, whatever you say. Yeah, so, I mean, of course I jumped at the opportunity.
But he must have seen something in you or been aware of something, because you nail it remarkably well. I mean, it's a tremendous performance.
Well, she was so unusual. I mean, I think we've so appropriated her kind of her energy and her kind of gender bending into the way we kind of view ourselves now. But at the time, when she first came on screen, she was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, I bet. And how do you master someone like that? Because it's obviously you're not impersonating them as such. You're acting a performance as someone else, so it has to be close enough to them to be recognisable, but at the same time it isn't an impersonation, I guess. Do you start with the voice first? Do you start with the body language? What do you look at first when you're trying to recapture someone?
Well, first of all, I asked Martin Scorsese what he was after, and he screened... The great thing about working with him, he's a lexicon. So he screened several films, and it was all about the energy production and the delivery, the snappy delivery.
Because it was really... This film seemed to move that much faster back then. The dialogue really zipped along, didn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, and then I literally stopped people in Sainsbury's and Tesco's and said, what do you think of Katharine Hepburn? People I didn't know, and to see what their first reaction was. And invariably people mentioned her voice. Yeah. So I don't usually do that way, but I did with her. OK, now how is it that you came to be? Here's a bizarre, not bizarre career move, but a strange thing, that you're playing Bob Dylan in a film. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
And that's just a strange... Now, no disrespect to your acting skills, but you wouldn't be my first choice to play Bob Dylan in a film. This sounds like a very unusual project.
It is. I mean, Todd Haynes, the last film he directed was Far From Heaven, that beautiful film with Julianne Moore.
I love Far From Heaven.
It was beautiful. And he's basically divided Dylan's musical persona into 6 different characters. So Richard Gere plays a version, Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, Ben Whishaw, fantastic English actor, and a young black actor called Carl Marcus Franklin, and myself.
So really, it's different aspects of Dylan's character portrayed by different actors?
Yeah, and so I play the section of his life when he went electric on that tour in 65, 66.
There's a still of it, and you kind of look like him there. It's a remarkable transformation. That's you on the right-hand side, I believe, and him on the left. Is that right? Or is it vice versa?
Oh, God, I'm so in love with him. It's pathetic.
Yeah, well, I've never been a big Dylan fan, but that
Oh,
period...
really?
You know...
Even after watching the Scorsese documentary?
Yeah, but he's got that annoying voice.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you do it.
Never mind when I do it, that's better than him. It's like, God, get a singer. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't get past round one of the X Factor.
Oh, yeah. I suppose not.
And is the film good? Does it work, the idea, or is it one of those ideas? I mean, can you be objective about that? I guess you can't be, but...
Well, I think it's absolutely the film that I signed on to do. It's
Right.
so unusual, and it really is. It's like no other film I've ever seen.
But I love the fact that you're doing it. I love the fact that people make these choices, and they you know, because you have a career where you could just do the mainstream films, and you know,
if someone asked me,
you'd get. Well, you do get those parts, don't you?
I don't know. I don't been asked to sort of be in Die Hard 4, or the Farrelly brothers haven't called.
But you're going to be in the next, or you know, presumably the final. I don't know, but the big Indiana Jones film that Harrison Ford's making.
Oh yes, I'd finished that a few weeks ago.
You finished already?
Yeah, I was there for about 5 weeks. I think they're finished.
I can't wait to see that. I love Harrison Ford. I love the Indiana Jones movies. Can you tell us? You don't play Indiana Jones. It's not another one of those roles where you're switching gender, is it?
Well, no.
But hey, what are you playing it? Can you talk about it or not?
I can't.
Just a tiny bit.
No, they'll tie my children up at the top of a flagpole or something. I'm terrified.
You can make more. Come on. Well, okay, what is the title of the movie?
It's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Wow. So there is a crystal skull involved in it?
Not necessarily.
There's a kingdom at some stage.
Maybe.
Hey, I know about the crystal skull. This was an Aztec thing.
Possibly.
There's a curse on the crystal skull.
Maybe. A little one.
Hey, Kate, lovely to meet you. Properly on the show.
Yeah.
Congratulations on Elizabeth. What a great movie, the new one. And good luck with Indiana Jones. I can't wait to see it. And good luck with the Bob Dylan thing, which looks weird, but I suspect I'm going to love it as well. Successful journey back home to Australia.
Thank you.
And good luck with the theatre work. I'm sure it'll be a huge success for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Cate Blanchett. And lovely to see you. I apologise for the constant beat we're listening to. And the hardness of our crowd.
No.
Thank you so much. Cate Blanchett, ladies and gentlemen.